So as we mentioned, President Biden slammed the Supreme Court's decision during remarks last night. He is also trying to quiet the fallout from last week's pretty rough debate performance. Nancy Cordes is joining us now from the White House to talk about the president's reaction. Nancy, let's begin with the Supreme Court decision. I want to play a little sound from the president from last night.
Today's decision almost certainly means that there are virtually no limits on what the president can do. This is a fundamentally new principle, and it's a dangerous precedent because the power of the office will no longer be constrained by the law, even including the Supreme Court of the United States.
All right, so there are no limits, which is what he said. I mean, this has to do with official duties while in office are protected, not other things. That being said, what was the point of the president's statement? What was he trying to get across?
Anne-Marie, well, the White House would say that the point was that something of great import had happened in Washington, D.C., a major ruling by the Supreme Court that shifts our understanding of the power of the presidency, and that as president, of course, he would want to weigh in on that news. But of course, we are 4 months out from Election Day, and you can't ignore election politics. For starters, this gave the president an opportunity once again to remind the American people about former President Trump's conduct on January 6th, particularly now that we know that Trump probably will not go to trial for those actions before Election Day, if ever. And then I think you also can't ignore the fact that the Biden White House, the Biden campaign are still furiously trying to dig out of this hole that was created by the president's debate performance on Thursday. And they viewed this as an opportunity to have him come back, stand in the White House in an official capacity, look vibrant, deliver a very sternly worded speech to try to reassure the American people that he has the vigor to not only run for re-election in November, but to serve another 4 years.
It certainly seems like enough people are backing him up on that because it was quite a good fundraising effort for him post-debate. But before we talk about that, or before we run out of time, I want to ask you about Hurricane Beryl. That storm grew to potentially catastrophic Category 5 storm overnight. The president is traveling to the D.C. Emergency Operations Center today. What do we know about that trip?
Well, the White House says that he's been monitoring this storm, such an early, huge hurricane in the hurricane season. They say that resources are being pre-positioned, that he's in touch with officials in the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico in case they are going to need more assistance. And he's going to the Operations Center today, both to get an update on where things stand right now, but also to announce some measures that his administration is taking to try to help Americans deal with changing weather, deal with extreme heat. Most notably, he is going to talk about an OSHA rule that is yet to be finalized that would set out some requirements federally for employers when it comes to protecting their employees from extreme heat. So this is the president on an issue that a lot of Americans worry about, care about, announcing that his administration is trying to do some things to help people deal with a growing problem.
All right, Nancy Cordes, thank you.
You're welcome.